Hey, how's everybody doing today? I'm going to talk about today the kind of the line between living in faith and yet what our part is. You know, and you've heard that saying that God helps those who help themselves, which is not in the Bible, but there are maybe some marginal truth to it. And here's what I want to read to you first. In Psalm 44, verses 6 and 7, it says, I do not trust in my bow. I do not count on my sword to save me, for you are the one who gives us victory over our enemies. You disgrace those who hate us. And so the truth is that, you know, the battle belongs to the Lord, but you never see about any accounts in Israel's history or in David's history where they went into those battles unarmed or where they just sat back and said, okay, God, you do it. God still had them do their part, and they still armed themselves. They picked up swords and they picked up shields and they went in and fought. Even when David came upon Goliath, he already had a slingshot with him. So where is that line? You know, in the day and age we live in, I know there's a lot of uncertainty about the future, and there's got to be a point there where faith meets preparation. And what I mean is you can't be prepared for everything, and you know you're not going to be able to go down there and, well, I got a compound now that my family can survive for 50 years underground. You know, I mean, that's not realistic. But you know what? If there are shortages that are going to come up in the next few months, if there are things that you can do to prepare, the Bible also talks about that. You know, in Proverbs chapter 6, beginning in verse 6, it says, take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones, learn from their ways and become wise. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work, they labor hard all summer gathering food for the winter. So there's nothing wrong with storing up some food for a time when you cannot gather food. And there's nothing wrong with being prepared as best you can for what comes into the future. You know, what that does is it doesn't mean that you're living a faithless life. I mean, it's silly to just take no precautions and have nothing and not be ready at all. So there is a fine line there. You realize, you know what, your future is in God's hands, but you can do your part. You know, there's nothing wrong with having some extra things set aside. Saving money is good. I mean, those are biblical principles too, of being prepared for whatever might come in the days ahead. Those are right and positive things. Now, you can go overboard with it, and you know, everybody may have a different place, but being prepared will help you to feel better about the future, and only to a certain degree. The rest of it has to come from trusting that God's going to be able to provide for you, even when things, if they may get difficult, that God's going to be able to watch over for you, even if it becomes more difficult, which it should, and it probably will, to be a Christian in the future. So we do trust God to save us. But there's also nothing wrong with us doing our part to gather and to be prepared for whatever may come ahead. So hope those two things will help you a little bit. Hope you guys have a great week, and hope to see you Sunday, whether online or in person. God bless.